Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, everyone, whenever you watch this video. Ismail Mubarak. I'm a third-year student of English Education Department at Alauddin State Islamic University of Makassar. Today in this video, I would like to answer some questions regarding language and psycholinguistic perspective. Here there will be about 9 questions that I'll be explaining. So let's get started and pay attention to my answer. The first one, what do you know of the formulation stage and the syntactical knowledge? Let's talk about the formulation stage. This stage refers to create and prepare language production. In this stage, a person tries to select appropriate words and the structure of sentence that will be used to make an understandable and acceptable speeches. In this stage also, a person will use their mind to choose words and sentence structures to represent the concept that have been built in their mind at the conceptualization stage. And about syntactical knowledge. This knowledge refers to skills of the speaker regarding how they can put the language properties together, such as lexical and grammatical properties, which will represent the abstract concept in mind to spoken in a communication. So that's about the syntactical knowledge. Next question. What is the relationship between formulation stage and syntactical knowledge? As the definition that I've explained before in the first question regarding formulation stage and syntactical knowledge, we can see the relationship between it. Syntactical knowledge has a crucial role in the formulation stage, because in the formulation stage, our mind trying to recognize in what word or sentence structure that can be used to represent the conceptualization in mind, in which can help us easier to identify the language properties and this semantical knowledge as a skills that speakers have to formulate in its such as lexical and grammatical properties. And without syntactical knowledge, the formulation will not run effectively in the language production, because this kind of knowledge have a crucial thing in the formulation. So next question. What are the differences among lemma, lexeme, word vocabulary, as well as entry? Explain your answer. So to see the differences, we can see by looking at to their definition. Lemma is the form of a word or such a keyword in the respective reference work based on an abstract idea in our mind, while lexeme is a unit of language that represents some words with the same meaning. Word is a basic unit of a language that people use in sentences that can have a unit of meaning. Next, vocabulary is all the world reference of a language that's used by a person or group. And the last one, entry. Entry is the word or expression being defined, the lexical unit that is identified. So that's all about it. And we can see the differences from the definition. And the next is, what do you know of grammatical encoding in the formulation stage? Explain your answer and give example. Grammatical encoding is a process of creating coherent sentences after obtaining lexemes based on the concept in our mind. For example, we see a man drinking a coffee. In this situation, there will be three lexemes or lexical selection in our mind, either as man, coffee, and drink. When we give these words a role that can represent a coherent sentence, such as man as a subject, drink as an action, and coffee as an object, then it become a coherent sentence in which by putting the subject, action, and object together, it will be man drinks a coffee. So this kind of things, for example, the grammatical encoding in which we see a condition, and when we have the basic knowledge about it, we see some condition, and we process the condition by knowing the lexemes, what word can appropriate with the condition there, and by knowing some of the lexemes, we put it into best structure based on grammatical knowledge that we have, in which can make the grammatical encoding well to put it them together. Well, next question. What do you know of the articulation stage and phonological knowledge? The articulation stage as the final stage of language production. This stage refers to the act of pronouncing concept in a conceptualization that has been formulated in the formulation stage to recognize and determine the appropriate word and sentence to produce speeches. In the stage that easy to hear, in this stage, the speeches is speech that easy to hear and easy to understand. About phonological knowledge. Phonological knowledge refers to ability in contrast sentences according to the concept in our mind and pronounce them with proper speech sounds. Well, next question. What is the relationship between articulation stage and phonological knowledge? The articulation stage and phonological knowledge has a strong correlation. As I have explained above on the previous questions, that articulation stage refers to the act of pronouncing concept. So, to be able to carry out the articulation with such a quality with a code speeches, we need phonological knowledge to help us construct the sentences well with proper speech sounds, so that they have a strong correlations. And the next one, what is phonological rule and what are its characteristics? Explain your answer. Phonological rules allow someone to convey an abstract idea that stored in mind into a real sound. So that's about phonological rules. Phonological rules are articulated when people are speaking to convey messages. It can be characterized by several characteristics, including phonological rules are intuitive, in which allow speaker to use their intuition in recognizing sounds in well-formed and acceptable. This kind of intuitive means that if we hear something and those kind of thing is like strange for us, or even like have an ambiguity and is not acceptable, it's kind of intuitive in phonological rules. The next is phonological rules are untaught and unconscious. We generally acquire these rules through our communication interaction with others at the very early age, not obtained by studying them formally. So phonological rules is something that we acquire by listening and speaking, and also trying to recognizing when we have a communication each other. It's not about learning or even there's a teacher that give us a material regarding this kind of phonological rules. And next is phonological rules are language specificity. Phonological rules definitely different from one language to another language because they have their own uniqueness in terms of phonological rules. And phonological rules. And the next one is the phonological rules are language productivity. Means that phonological rules are frequently applied even to new words in a language. And next, what do you know of phonological encoding? Explain your answer. Well, phonological encoding is the process of giving some phonological encoding as the process of giving sound to abstract form of the word. To illustrate this point, take a look at this example about the process of phonological encoding. When we see a pet in front of us as an abstract idea, then our mind tries to recognize the concept by thinking some relevant word that stored regarding the concept, what we see, and at the end, we indicate one word that appropriate with the concept. This kind of thing is the process of phonological encoding. And the last one. As a whole, can you explain the process of language production? Okay. So language production is a process in producing language in the form of utterances and expression. In this case, there are three stages in language production, as conceptualization, formulation, and articulation. The conceptualization stage refers to an abstract idea about what we are going to say. And in this process of conceptualization, we need semantical knowledge that can be a way for us to formulate the meaning of the abstract idea before speaking. And then the formulation stage refers to create and prepare language production. In this stage, a person tries to select appropriate words and the structure of sentence that would be used to make and understandable and acceptable speeches. In this stage, we need syntactical knowledge. Syntactical knowledge has a crucial role in the formulation stage because at the formulation stage, our mind trying to recognize what word or sentence structure that can be used to represent the conceptualization in mind. And without this syntactical knowledge, the formulation will not run effectively in the language production. And the last one is that the articulation stage. As the final stage of language production, this stage refers to the act of pronouncing concept in a conceptualization that has been formulated in the formulation stage to recognize and determine the appropriate word and sentence to produce speeches in the stage that easy to hear and easy to understand. We also need a knowledge regarding phonological knowledge in this stage, because phonological knowledge refers to the ability to construct sentences according to the concept in our mind and pronounce them with proper sound. So we can have a good quality speeches by the articulation stage that combined with the phonological knowledge. So everyone, maybe that's all my answer regarding this kind of question about language in psycholinguistic perspective. Hope you guys can get benefit from my explanation about those sum of question. And thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.